Hey guys, pull up your chairs. We're going to talk about the rhythms of life, getting in a group. How do you fit that in? How do you fit that in with family and kids and all of your other commitments? And stay tuned to the end. We're going to hear the guys' Super Bowl predictions. Let's roll. What's up, guys? Welcome to the Pastor's Hangover. My name is Melissa, and each week we dive into biblical truth and the overflow of our weekend message. With us today is Pastor Hal Mayer.
Stay warm.
Pastor Trevor Easterling.
Yeah, hey.
And Pastor Ralph Johnson.
What's up?
Welcome.
Thanks for having us.
Back. You both have been here before.
Yeah.
Trevor, when was the last time you were here?
Yeah, it's been since episode 3, I think.
Episode
Pastor
3,
House.
yes.
Wow.
Yeah, man. Yeah, excited to be here. Honored to be here.
Seriously.
Yeah.
That is so cool. We're excited to chat with you guys today. We're going to be talking about Pastor Daryl's message, Stronger Together. And he fought through a little under the weatherness
Yes.
this weekend.
Teach.
I texted him. I said, you had your Michael Jordan flu game, and you did great.
Yeah.
So.
Like they were texting me going, "Hey, you ready to go if he goes down?" And I was sick also. And so it was like one of those dynamics. I'm like, I'll figure it out. But yeah, Friday night is always one of those fun texts. Like, hey, do you have a message ready? I'm like, I will have one. Yeah, sure. That's fun. Sure. But he fought through it and made it. So yeah, and it hit him harder, of course, coming off of teaching afterwards. So 100%. He is, he's still dealing with it.
Yeah.
And he chose not to infect us today, which was nice.
We appreciate that.
Yeah, definitely.
But it was a great message.
Yes,
it was called Stronger Together. Go back and watch it on YouTube. And we got some great questions on people really wanting to understand how to be in that community that he was talking about, how to be together, how do we manage that, and what if you just straight up don't want to. Like a lot of people are just introverts. They like being by themselves. Pastor Hal is a self-proclaimed introvert.
Absolutely. Definitely. Like self-proclaimed, and other people will agree with you. Like it's not like and Pastor Daryl is too. Like he pulls it off really well on the weekend. But he is one, and he said it before on here. He goes like he hangs out the library. Like he's an introvert. We're both very much introverts, but you learn how to extrovert, and you realize you have to extrovert, and you can't do ministry without extroverting some. So it's kind of one of those things that you have to do. And I'll just say this, like this sounds harsh. You can't find anywhere in the Bible where Jesus says it or God says it's okay to do life by yourself or on your own.
Right.
Or like the only person you need is your spouse. Like that's not, because that's what I'll hear a lot of people say. Well, I got married, so I've got my group. No, because what happens when the problem is that person?
Right.
And so who is it that you talk to? And so I'll just start off like with that dynamic is you can't biblically live the Christian life without other people. Because if I'm going to love God and love others, I need others in my life.
Absolutely.
And I need other people around. Right. And it's funny, I said that before in a message, and people came up to me like, show me. Find me a passage. Yeah. Like the times where you see anybody do anything alone, it goes bad. Like Elijah does it by himself, and God goes, "You can't do this by yourself anymore," because he burns out hard, like hard. And so he gives him Elisha. But even when Jesus sends out the disciples, he sends them out in pairs because
2 by 2.
So this idea that it's a very new idea. This entire idea that I can do this on my own is brand new. It's not something that you see in the church. Right. Like, in fact, they met on regular basis more than we do now. And so they met in homes, but they also met in the church. They did this. It was this idea of, and it sounds cliche now, doing life together, but they really did. Like it was, we do life together. We do life with other people. Other people are in my life. They're in my business. Why? Because I need other people in my business.
Yeah. Bible even says like, don't forsake meeting together. And
so this idea, like if the early church saw the way we did, they'd be like, what are you guys doing? You guys, but we've developed that ability to have community online and be able to read our own Bibles. And they wouldn't even, and this is also because they didn't have the ability or understanding the ability to read, but they never read the Bible alone. It was always with other people. It was always in community. And not that it's bad to read the Bible alone, but when you just read it on your own and don't have other people into it, we tend to misinterpret it, and God tends to look more like us. And he thinks like us and acts like us. And so we need other people.
Pastor Darrell even, one of his points in his message was, one of the big things about the importance of community is that you have people around you that can provide insight. right? It's like I can think of so many times, in my life when I've had both of you guys, that have poured into me and mentored me and been there to provide insight, biblically for me. And so, it's, it's invaluable to have people in your life, especially when you're going through something hard or trying to wrestle with, things, especially about the faith, issues of the faith that that are tough to understand, like so many of these concepts are. To have guys in your life, have people in your life that can provide that, invaluable insight.
Yeah, it's I believe you said where the scripture is. I think it's Proverbs 18:1 is when a man isolates himself, or a woman, when a man isolates himself, he seeks his own demise and wages against all sound judgment. Now, why I know that so well is because the person that discipled me that I live in community with is R.V. Brown. And so he's like, hey, man, we need to eat breakfast. Why? Because you don't isolate yourself now.
Yeah.
He just keeps telling you that over and over. And I see community as a mirror. Man, sometimes you just need a mirror. And that's what I tell the guys that I live in community with, hey, can I just run some stuff by you right now? I need a mirror. I need someone that's going to tell me the truth. Here's what I'm feeling right now. And this is the decision I'm getting ready to make. And they're like, yeah, I probably wouldn't do it that way. And so that's what you're missing out on when you're not in the community. You can pray. Sure, God answer prayers. Sure, you can read your Bible for yourself and get insight. But it's also cool. I had a moment with my wife this past weekend. I'm sorry, I'm kind of rambling, but I remember we were talking about a certain topic. And I'm like, babe, I'm thinking about doing this. And we were talking and she was like, doesn't the scriptures speak about that? And we turned to the scripture and read it out loud. Yeah. And it literally broke me in the moment because here we are going back and forth about is this the right decision? Is it not? Right. And God's word spoke and we both got aligned on the topic because of what God said and that we were making the decision together. Yeah. So that's why community is so important.
Well, if we're just honest, guys, we're just honest. The dumbest decisions we ever make are made in a vacuum.
Oh,
100%.
By ourselves.
100%.
It always is. Isn't it and that's why, you guys have been in ministry. We always know something's up when people start going missing.
Absolutely.
When you don't see them anymore. That's when a marriage is in trouble is all of a sudden because, and that's the thing, I'll just say this. One of the biggest things the enemy does is when we start going down the wrong path, he tells us to get alone. Right. No one will understand. No one will walk through. And it's always that's how we always know something's going on. It's like, hey, have you seen them in a while? Right. Because the only way we can continue to believe that lie is if we don't say it to anybody else.
Right.
Yeah. Because the moment we say it out loud or the moment we say it to somebody else, somebody's like, have you actually thought about that?
Right.
Have you actually? Because it is. Right. It sounds good in our head with our line of thinking. But when anybody brings truth to it, it starts to sound really dumb.
Absolutely.
It just does.
It's like the joke that you're going to make from stage in your head. Oh, it sounds funny. And then you run it by your wife. She's like, don't do that one.
Oh, man.
And thankfully, we all of us have spouses that will help us with that. We'll
tell you the truth.
Share the wisdom. 100%.
And I'm so happy some of my early youth ministry stuff is not on tape.
What's on tape is just online, right? You got the old cassette tapes.
Oh, man.
Yeah, the internet is forever, man.
Yes. Luckily, the internet did not have that stuff then.
Some of those first sermons, it's not like they were on VHS, man. Come on, you're not that old, bro.
Yes, I have a sermon on VHS.
Do you really?
I am that old. Yeah, you got to realize how quickly technology has changed.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Growing up, we had VHS. The way we recorded TV shows. Gosh, I feel
was parents showing up at the game with the camera?
Absolutely. Yeah, thank you for believing I'm younger than I am, but I'm not, man.
We didn't have that planned out.
No, the message that I sent for my first youth pastor jobs was on VHS.
Gotta be kidding me. That's so amazing.
Well, how did they watch it?
Exactly.
How did they stream it from there? I don't understand.
You had to mail it.
I remember going to.
That's a mail VHS. That's crazy.
You guys remember Netflix? At the beginning, it was
they sent DVDs to your house.
And it was innovative. It was out there.
I remember when they went online. I'm like, that's dumb.
That's
why you're still working.
I wasn't the only one. Blockbuster thought it was dumb too. Yeah. Blockbuster had the chance to buy Netflix for nothing, and they did. So anyway,
so somehow we're going to tie this back to community Netflix.
Exactly. Watching TV with your community.
Blockbuster didn't have good people.
Why don't we have you guys introduce yourself and tell them a little bit about yourself?
What about that? We have not done that.
We just rolled right in. That's okay.
Hey guys, I'm Ralph. I am pastor of our leadership development team here at Grace Family Church.
Sir.
And how long have you been here? How long have you been married?
Oh my gosh. Been here 15 years on staff, over 25 years at the church, and I've been married for 33 years.
Amazing.
That's cool.
Yeah.
And who is your
And our wedding video is actually on a VCR, you know.
That's
Yes.
great.
That's what you're saying.
And who is your community? Like, who are your people? You have a small group.
man.
You have a courageous group.
I have a unique community of married couples. So my wife and I, we live in community with a few married couples. Some of them are on staff, some of them not on staff. And they're people that we both get along with. So that's important, right? Like I get along with the guys, she get along with the girls. And so we just kind of live our community out that way.
That's
you know?
awesome.
Yeah.
Sweet.
I'll say that's hard to do, and that's why sometimes you need a couple couples.
Yeah.
Because sometimes let's just be honest.
Yeah.
To find that couple, it's not easy to do.
No,
And I think a lot of people, they don't find communities. Well, there's nobody where I like the guy and she likes the girl and all that. Well, find a couple couples.
Right. Yeah.
Put it all together where
Yeah.
everybody
Absolutely.
has some choices in there where you can do it. Because sometimes it's really hard to find that person.
No doubt.
Mm-hmm.
No doubt.
Trevor, share with us.
Pastor Trevor. I'm the music production pastor here at Grace Family. So I get the, I feel like I'm living my dream. It's all I've ever wanted to do since I was a kid, making music at a high level in church for the city of Tampa Bay. So me and my buddy Taylor, we, pretty much do like anything that makes it, to the weekend as far as music production, music resourcing, musician resourcing, musical arranging, all that stuff. We do all that stuff. We've got a studio here at the Lutz location that we work out of, and we get to make awesome stuff all the time. So it's
cool.
really, really good time.
How long married? How long on
So me
staff?
and Amanda have been married coming up on 14.
Very cool.
Yeah, it's crazy. And we've been together 17, almost 18 years. So yeah, it's actually crazy.
That's
so
awesome.
we've got a 2-year-old daughter and a 6-month-old son. And it's the best.
Very cool. And who's your community? Who are your people? Do you have a group? Do you have couples? Do you have men in your life?
Yeah, so I've got a couple guys that I've been really, really close with for over a decade now. Guys I've done ministry with that we've just stayed friends, and similar to what you were talking about, they've got wives and small children. Very similar season of life as us, and so we get together as often as possible. And then we also have I've got a group of guys, like 5 or 6 guys that in different combinations that will get together like almost every Thursday, just to kind of like hang and talk life and go through life together and get that insight from one another. So super important. Definitely one of the most valuable things in my life right now for sure.
Yeah.
When I started at Grace, I was the youth guy, and Trev was my worship leader. So
That's right.
Wow.
Great
awesome.
times,
You
man.
go way back.
back in the day,
Yes,
Back
sir.
in the-
DVDs times.
Yeah, DVD times.
times.
Even before episode 3. That's crazy.
That's right.
That's awesome.
That's right, man. Yeah, those are great
So
times
let's
together, man.
chat about, we got a question about being overcommitted, which I think is like very common today.
Yeah.
Just being overcommitted in every area of your life. But when Pastor Darrell was talking about being overcommitted, what do you say when I want to join a group, but I don't have time in my schedule? We also had another question, my family rhythm. We could be out 3 or 4 nights a week if we all joined a group, and that's just too much for my family. What do you suggest for those people?
So it seems to be, and this is something that I've seen. When we get overcommitted in life, the first thing that we tend to cut, because people are the nicest about it, is church. And those are the things that we need the most. Now, can you be overcommitted in church? Yeah. I've seen people that have, so I'll tell you this, I've seen this happen a lot. I've seen people who are brand new to the faith, and to make sure that they don't go back into things that they shouldn't, they are involved in church on the weekend. They're serving multiple services. They are involved in a small group 4 days a week. They're doing all this stuff. And look, that's great for that season moment. And what I usually tell them is, hey, you're getting out of a tough season. This is good for you because it's taking you out of this stuff. When you get to a good place and you find the healing, don't get rid of all of it. Find the things that are most important. And so in this, what I'll say is, very rarely is the overcommitment at church. It's overcommitment in a lot of different areas.
Right.
And so 1, that's the problem. And 2, a lot of times maybe we're thinking small groups only happen at these moments. So these are the only possibilities.
Yeah.
And Pastor Darrell talked about it, and we're very serious about it. Maybe you need to start your own small group. that fits in your time period that can happen either at your house or somebody somewhere near you or in your workplace or whatever it may be. But the thing that we don't need to give up is the people that we need in our life that are going after the same things we are, that care about us and love us.
That's right.
Those are not the people that we need to give up. Like, we've got to take a hard look at our schedule and go, what is it that is most important? Does my kid need to be on 5 sports at a time? Or does this need to happen? Or do we need to have all these different things? Or is it because I've committed to all these other things? Like, what is it that I can give up? And then on top of it, let me just say this. They said, well, if we're all in a small group, we'd be out 3 nights a week. Maybe. There's also a lot of different ways of doing things. I mean, at the Lutz campus, we've got Wednesday night Bible study, and we've got youth on the same night.
I was just getting ready to go there. Yeah.
So you've got that going on. You've got different moms group that happen during days, and we have men's groups that happens in the mornings. And so there's a lot of different ideas there. Don't just look at it as, well, mainly men's happens at this time, and mainly women's happens at this time, and mainly youth happens at this time. So there's no possibility. There's possibilities. Look at the website. Look at not just your campus, but maybe even the campuses around it. And then if you're a seasoned Christian, you've got some friends that want to start a small group, let's start a small group. Let's figure it out. We'd love to resource you. We love to help you in it.
Absolutely. And you make time for what's important.
Right. You make time for what's important. And let me just say this. You got kids in the house. They're watching.
Right.
If what goes first is church, what's going to go first in their life is church.
Yeah.
And so in this argument, this conversation, can we be overrun by things? Absolutely.
Yeah.
But we've got to be really careful. We've got to make sure that the main things stay the main things.
Yeah. Right.
Because if the main things aren't in place, how are we expecting the rest of life to happen the right way? Or for us to make the good decisions in the rest of it? Like, you've got to set up, and we've been talking about this, firm foundation, the people around you, the core around you, what you're building on. If those aren't in place, then we've got to look at the rest of our schedule and go, what do we need to get rid of? And just be really honest about it. Bring in some people that love us and say, hey, what is it that I need to cut? What am I doing that's way too much? And look, I know there's seasons, but there's an answer. There's always an answer. There's always a possibility. You may just have to work some things around.
Can't remember exactly who said it, but just a great quote that, I was thinking about when you were sharing that is, if the devil can't tempt you to sin, he'll make you busy.
He'll get you busy.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
There's so many good things to do. So many good things to do. What are the God things?
Yeah, absolutely.
I got nothing to add to that at all.
Okay.
Yeah.
But I was thinking not only about the commitment, the possibility for overcommitment, but I think about the different areas at Grace. So we got our zone, right? Those kids are sitting in a small group on Sundays, right? During their service, in United, there are small groups. Like even I believe,
Exchange Tuesday nights,
like
they have small
everyone
groups
is
after
in
service.
these small communities. And just to double down on what Hal said, like, start your own. One of the things that Tracy and I did when we first got here, greatest memory was like, because we come from a background where people don't come into your house, right? You're like, we have relationships outside of the house. We go eat dinner or whatever. When we opened our home up, it was a pretty big deal. And I remember Doug and Marilyn Henders came, and they to help us kick it off, man. And that group was amazing. They became some of our best friends. We got here to Tampa and actually came to Grace Family Church. And so, man, try it out for yourself.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know what I mean? And just like you said, great resources for you, and pray through that and just see if you can just get a couple of couples around you, man, study something and create your own community.
Yeah, and as far as like the
possibilities there,
time is a currency, just like anything else, and you can say that you can't afford the time to do it, but it's like question would be, can you afford not to do it?
Yeah.
What I'm saying? Like, just thinking about like the toughest things that you go through in life, and you think back on like what it would have been like had you stayed isolated, like you pointed out, like a lot of times you get into trouble by being isolated, but it only gets worse if you stay isolated. It's interesting. Pastor Daryl, one of his first points talking about community this past weekend was he started literally in Genesis. Like we see the model for how important community is right there. When the first time God said that something wasn't good, was it's not good for this guy to be alone. He needs, help. And I love what he said. He said, it's not that man wasn't complete. It's just that it wasn't as good as it could be. Right. And so God brought Eve into the picture, and God brought community into the picture because he knew that was going to be the vehicle for getting the most and the best out of life. And so I think that, when God's pointing out to us, he's trying to tell us, hey, this is an important thing, like literally from Adam and Eve. He's talking to us about how important community is, you know?
And I'm not saying you're not busy at all.
Right.
I mean, I used to go, oh, young adults, you're not busy. It's like, no, they're busy. It's just we have a tendency to fill our lives.
Of course.
We
Yes.
do.
Right.
But at some point you have to have some sort of filter to decide what's most important, because it's easy to fill your life. There's so much
always
going
something
on.
going on,
There's
bro.
always something,
Yeah.
but you really do have to fight for the things that matter the most.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not easy because I love that Pastor Joel said it this weekend. He's like, everybody wants community till they realize it's filled with people or what, something like that.
yeah,
Something to that effect is what he said.
Yeah.
And it's like, yeah, because people aren't easy and it takes time to get to know people, which is not fun. And that's what, and I'll say this too. I find this happen all the time. People leave, like they move to Tampa or they move away from Grace. And they go, oh, I can never find the same thing again. I'm like, well, of course not, because it took you 7 years to get that.
Right.
Right.
It took you 5 years to get that. Like you're never going to step back into community in the same place that you left it.
Absolutely.
And so we've got to be okay with giving it time. And if it's the wrong group, that's fine. Find another group. Be purposeful in that. But go, I'm going to find it.
Well, building trust is a risk.
Yes.
You know, it's dangerous. You know, it's like because we're as human beings, we're fallible. You know, but I think it's a worthwhile, endeavor. It's a worthwhile investment.
Yeah, I've heard Pastor Howell say this before, but if life is good and you're saying, "Oh, life is good. I don't need people around me." When life turns, that's too late. It's too late to go out and build community when you need help and when you're in a place where you need those people around you.
Absolutely.
It's harder because what you want to do when you're in it is you want to unload in that moment.
Right.
But then people are like, oh, wow, okay. And they don't know how to respond. And then we take it the wrong way a lot of times. Oh, well, they just don't. And it's like, no, you just got to know us. And so not that you can't find people to unload and do all that with, but it takes time to get to the place where you can support somebody
Absolutely.
and they don't know you.
Yeah. And something Pastor Darrell said this weekend was, if you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go together.
Yeah.
Right.
And so where have you guys seen that in your life? Where have you had to slow down to go further and create space to be able to do that in your own life?
Just in ministry as a whole. I think when you start off in ministry, you think you're the man. Just honestly.
Sure.
And then you start trying to do it and you realize you're not.
Mm-hmm.
Or you actually, I mean, here's the other side. If you want to do little, do it alone. If you want to multiply it, you got to do it with other people.
Yeah.
Like,
That's
and that's the thing is this church wouldn't be at the size that it is if Pastor Craig didn't give away leadership.
Absolutely.
Like that's just the way that it is. And so I think in ministry as a whole, it's very easy to be excited, have a vision, do things, all that kind of stuff. And then you realize very quickly, if it comes down to just me, it's not going to happen.
Yeah.
And so I need other people, and I need other people to come along and go, hey, this is a dumb idea, or why are you even doing it this way? Or we should do it this way. And you need other people with different giftings and all of those things. But just in life, I would say in ministry too, like doing ministry married without people around you is dangerous.
Absolutely.
Like we've been in that scenario. You need other people in your life. I need other people in my wife's life. Like, I remember a pastor telling me this before, your most important thing as a father and as a spouse is to make sure your wife and your kids have community.
That's so good, man.
That's got to happen. And so you got to find it. You got to push for it. My wife is naturally an extrovert, so she finds it, which is great. But
and once you find it, you got to fight for it.
You got to fight for it.
Yeah.
And you got to be okay with it.
Absolutely. And my, it's interesting. My, one of the things that's most impressive to me about Grace Family, and I've been here, just as an attender, probably 14 or 15 years since I was 18, 19 years old. And one of the things that really impressed me about Grace when I first got here, because I think growing up in small church, I was kind of like, skeptical, of like big churches. And I kind of thought they were like carbon copies of one another.
Yeah.
And, and so coming to Grace, it was like such a strange, like, I guess unexpected, like breath of fresh air is like how many people are here. And this has been 15 years ago now and still here 15 years later that have been with Craig since the beginning.
Oh yeah.
Like, you want to talk about longevity in ministry and community and the power of community and how, that makes such a huge difference and like how far you're able to go back to your questions. Like, there are several guys around here that have been with Craig 25 plus years.
Yeah.
The church is like 30, plus years old now. You talked about Doug and Marilyn Hinders, So, I mean, that's impressive. Like that's a testament to community, just the health of the church 30 plus years later.
Right. I think there's a couple of things, and Hal touched on both of them, but I can remember going down to the Dream Center, and when we launched the Dream Center and just trying to do everything. You get what I'm saying? Like, you're excited and you're just trying to, bring the light of Christ to this community. And you got basketball, you got you got basketball, you got homeless, you got people you're trying to feed, you're trying to build, like whatever it is. And then you got to realize, all right, look, I can't do this all by myself, right? And so you start to slow down and you build relationships with people, and you start to look at their gifts and talents and capabilities, what they bring to the table, where they would like to serve, right? And building things from scratch taught me that, one, you can't do it alone, because I'm naturally high thrust, a lot of energy when I get a task. And I had to learn to slow down, have conversations with people, and spread things out, right? Because you're going to burn yourself out. And so I have to, you talk about overcommitment, man. I have to keep an eye on that for myself all the time, right? And so when you slow down and you build community, and people step into things, and then they can be healthy, because and when people serve, you don't want those people to burn out either, right? Because they don't work for the church, right? But they're serving the Lord, right? And so I think that's really important as you're building ministry, as you're building teams, as you're out serving and doing different things. It's good to slow down and love on those who you're walking with.
Yeah. That's awesome.
You're either going to slow down to burn out, because you burn out, or you're going to slow down to realize you need other people.
Right.
That's the choice. One or the other is going to happen.
100%.
Yeah.
That's so good. And just one more question before we go into our Super Bowl predictions. I just know Pastor Craig wanted to be here for this. So I'm glad you guys are here, though.
Just because of his hatred for New England. But
yes, fully. But before we go into Super Bowl predictions, last question I want to talk to you guys about is, like Pastor Darrell also talked this weekend about like sticking it out when you're stronger together. And I think you guys touched on it a little bit, but the question I got is, what if I try a group and it doesn't work? Do I wait a few weeks and feel it out before I quit? And hey, groups start February 2nd at all locations. Okay. Get in a group. Personal favorite is freedom, but get in a group, seriously. And then you might have to try multiple times. Yeah. And that's okay. 100%. But should they wait a couple weeks? What does that look like when you sit down at a table and you're like, I'm not going to fit in here? This group isn't going to work for me.
Well, you try another table. I mean, it's okay. Like, absolutely, no one's going to be offended, or maybe they are offended, but you just kind of keep it moving. Like, I mean, you got to find your tribe. You got to find those who are like-minded and people that you enjoy being around. Like, and I'm an extrovert, and I don't enjoy being around everyone, right? Some people can drain you. And so you got to find your people, find your tribe. And it took me a long time to find the people that I can fully trust, that I can tell anything, that's praying for me, that I can be totally transparent with. It takes time to do that. So if you go to a group and it doesn't work out, go to the coach. There's normally a head coach or a coach over those tables. Like, hey, can I try another group or try another table next time or whatever? And they'll let you know, hey, go to this different table. And no one, I don't think anyone's going to be upset about that.
Absolutely.
Because you're in a different season of life. But I will say this, first night of groups is awkward.
Yep.
Especially if you're an introvert. Let me just say that. Like it is, because everybody's trying to get to know each other, and everybody's kind of, actually, most of the people sitting on the table is like, I don't know if I like you. And you're saying the same thing. Like, so it can be, and so that's my thing. Like if it's like totally off, but if it's like, I would give it a little bit of time. Because a lot of times also what you need from a group isn't always what you're looking for. And so sometimes what you need is, I think a lot of times we just want a group that's exactly like us, but a lot of times maybe we need some people that are different than us. Not the whole group is different than you, but you need some people that maybe are a little bit different, that see things a little bit different than you. And so give it a little bit of time, but absolutely the goal is to find your group, not to just try it once and then go, well, I tried. And I'm like, well, well, maybe they just didn't put you in the right place, or maybe you didn't tell them you wanted to be in a certain place. And so try a different group. Yeah.
So try a different group, or
It depends.
try a different table within
within the same group. Like, it just
context
depends.
of the
It depends.
environment.
Or
Like-
wait it out more than 1 week.
It depends
Wait a
how
few weeks.
Definitely more than 1
how
week.
bad was it? Like, was it just like, oh, we didn't click right away? How
But
often
did
do
you
you
die?
click right away? Did you die? Like, I mean, a lot of times you don't click right away with a lot of people.
Yeah.
Because they're also, I mean, everyone walks in guarded.
Right.
And so you got to realize
Yeah,
that,
if you
and
end up-
especially for guys. Guys,
true.
come on. We're not going to, most of the time we don't click right off the bat. And the only reason we do click is because we like the same sports team. Like, it's not usually at a really deep level.
Right.
Right.
And so give it a little bit of time.
Yeah, if you end up in a fist fight over Monopoly, you may want to try a different group. But
That's why I
other
don't
than
play
that-
Monopoly anymore.
Yeah, we've talked about that.
Our family games of Monopoly were not good.
Honestly, like what you guys have mentioned it a couple times, but I feel like probably the best strategy with if it maybe doesn't work out the first time is like this, not just the people, but like you were saying earlier, the style and the schedule of the group, right? It's like it might be that, a weeknight like really is just horrible for you. It's like find some guys that are willing to go to breakfast like once a week, once every other week, like in some, consistent fashion. And that's the way that works out for you. I know that there's a group at South Tampa, a group of adults that meets literally right after service every single Sunday. And I see them like gathering up like on a consistent basis.
That works for them all. Yeah.
Yeah,
That's good.
100%. And not only that, I was talking to a young man, shout out Connor from, it was his second time ever at South Tampa this past weekend.
That's awesome.
And he came up to me and was like, hey, how do I join a group? I literally he has no frame of reference. It was his second time ever coming. And he went over there and he was, started talking to Miles and, started the process of getting in a group.
Yeah.
One of the things that struck me that he said was something that you were talking about having that diversity of voices in your life, especially when it comes to community. He was asking me like, what if I wanted to be in a group where there's some older guys in there? So because like I need some mentorship and I need some leadership in my life. That's super valuable, knowing what you're actually looking for, what you're actually looking to get out of, that group. And
And I'll say maturity. Let me just say it real quick. Maturity is being in a group of people where you're at, having people ahead of you that speak into your life, but then also going into and teaching the one under. Like that.
Absolutely.
You want to grow deeper. It's not what you're listening to, it's what you're doing. Like it's you have people with you, but when you start teaching something, oh my goodness, that's another level. But
100%.
It was one of the coolest groups that I saw is I think 5:30 a.m. They meet here at the gym. It's a men's prayer group.
Wow.
And, they share like a little devotional. Then they break up and you get with teams of 2 or 3 and you pray for each other. And I've been able to, I probably went maybe 3 or 4 times. It is super impactful, but it's like early in the morning. Everyone's, you know what I mean? Like everybody's not going to try to make that trip, but you'll find your tribe. You just got to try it, man. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
I mean, we've got sharing with you guys earlier, and you've got a new baby as well, right?
Yeah.
So it's challenging. When we when I get together with a group of my real close guy friends on Thursday nights, a lot of times it's 9 p.m., 9:30 p.m. It's like after we've done bath time and bedtime with both the kids, and then you got to make sure you debrief with the wife and get that time together. So sometimes, I'm not getting over there until 9:30, and so that's what works, and that's how if we're able to be more consistent doing it like that, then you got to fight for what's important. You make time for what's important.
Absolutely.
And I've sat down in a group and I'm like, I just don't really connect with anyone, but God, what do you want me to learn here? Like, what can I do here? How can I learn? You put me here for a reason, on purpose. And you're not maybe going to meet your best friends in life in the first group, but you keep coming back. There's going to be stuff you learn. There's going to be investments and seeds sown into you. So
That's how you feel every time you sit down at this table, right?
I mean,
why am I here with these people?
it's something special. It's something special. Every week, it's something special. Well, thank you guys. We are going to pivot, but I loved the
Hard
perspective. I loved the insight from introvert, extrovert, and then extrovert. So all the perspective on group, community, and what it looks like in your life and who your people are. But before we talk about Super Bowl, I'm going to ask you all out there for a favor. And I've never actually asked for anything before, I don't think.
So they
from
have to
them.
do it.
So I
basically.
hope someone will do it. Have I ever asked for anything?
I don't think so. I was
Okay.
trying to think.
Okay.
I don't think so.
We are looking to drop some Pastor's Hangover merch, and we are looking for some of your ideas for a t-shirt, a pullover, or a hoodie, mock-up, any kind of merch. I know some of you are super creative, maybe graphic design, Canva, I don't know, but mock up something, come up with an idea, and I want them to email it to me. So you can email it to mel@gocflorida.com. I'll put it in the description, but we want to hear your ideas because I brought Pastor House some ideas that I had for our merch. And he said,
How'd that go?
yeah. He said these are mediocre at best, Melissa. He said, take it back to the drawing board.
sounds like Hal.
You can do better. This I would never wear this. This is trash. Right? That's not how.
No.
Wow.
It doesn't sound like Hal to me.
No, not at all.
No, but it does. We know you can do better. So if you guys would help us with that, that would be amazing.
Yeah.
And Pastor Hal, no comment allowed. Okay, so we are going to switch to Super Bowl predictions. Super Bowl predictions.
Let's go.
What's the date of the Super Bowl? 2 weekends.
Yeah, it's coming up in 2 Sundays.
Okay.
So, yeah, not this week, but next week.
And who's going to be in the Super Bowl?
Seahawks and Patriots.
Seahawks and the Patriots.
So,
What do we say?
Yeah. What
do we
are we
think?
thinking, guys? What are the predictions?
What
We
do
got,
you think?
one of the best defenses in the league in Seattle. The MVP favorite in Drake May. On the other side of the
Is he
ball.
still the favorite?
Yeah,
Really?
yeah. Stafford was throwing a few too many picks, I think, at the end of the season.
Yeah, but May, his last game, he had 81 yards.
Yeah, that's true.
Like they won because the quarterback for the other team wasn't there.
That's
Bo
true.
Nix wasn't there.
That's
But
true.
Anyway,
But regular season award, remember?
regular, yeah, it is.
Well, I'm going to throw mine out there. Seahawks.
100%.
Okay.
Yeah.
Seahawks. No, I don't have to give you a score or anything, do I?
Yes, you do.
Yeah,
Oh, I don't know.
just for fun. Just for fun. Why not?
Like I don't even like that. Like the score thing.
Do you think it's going to be low scoring or do you think it's going to be a shootout?
think Seahawks 28 to 21.
I like that.
Okay.
Yeah, I've got
Seahawks.
Yeah, I've got Seahawks 31-21. I think the Seahawks win by 10.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I hope the Seahawks win. I'm still so I am a
Fatigued.
Steelers and then Bucks fan.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm still unhappy about the way that the Patriots won some of the games back in the day. I don't know if you guys remember Spygate.
Oh yeah.
Like, guys,
Inflate gate.
like well, Inflategate, whatever. Spygate, guys, they
Actual real-
demolished the
yeah.
tape so nobody would see what actually they were looking at.
Oh, yeah.
Like they beat the Steelers in 2 championship games. So I am against the Patriots. They are an awful organization
Wait, they
filled with
cheated?
liars and cheaters.
Oh, 100%.
Wow.
And so,
we
like-
should be praying for them, right, Pastor Hal?
Like they were
They cheated?
and here's the deal: they've already
Oh,
won.
yeah.
They've already won enough Super Bowls.
Yeah.
They've already
Right.
won enough
Does
Super Bowls.
Tony and Nate know that?
She
they
does,
were
and
she's
Astros,
complicit. Getting their World Series taken away, and
I'm not saying they're not a good team.
Jim Harbaugh
but-
almost
Right.
getting banned from college football level cheating. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Wow.
So anyway,
So you're going for the Patriots, right?
So no, not at all. And like that's my thing. Like they don't deserve to be back in this already. It makes me kind of angry to go through everything that they did and they're already back again. Like one, I think Vrabel's a great coach. He was actually a Steeler for one time. We let him go. But no, I want the Seahawks to win. And I think Sam Darnold's the better story. Poor guy had to be a Jet for many years.
Right.
That's like the worst thing that you could
he
do
was
to
the
somebody.
backup in San Francisco,
And then
3 or 4
was
years
like
ago.
the backup and
Yeah,
then
it's
did
not that
incredibly well in Minnesota. And they were like, we can do better without you. You can't.
See how that worked out.
And so I'm going for them. I want the Seahawks to win.
Absolutely.
27-21.
I've got 2 older brothers that both live in Washington State, and so we're kind of like de facto Hawks fans after Bucks, obviously. But yeah, some really interesting storylines for this Super Bowl. Sam Darnold in like one of the most stacked quarterback draft classes.
Yeah.
And the first one of those guys
make it to the
over
And was considered a
over
bust.
Lamar Jackson,
Yep.
over Josh Allen, Baker Mayfield, sadly. To actually make it to a Super Bowl game.
Yeah.
So
Well, did you hear the cool story about Drake May? His dad drove cross country with him
wow.
to that stadium. They went to a Super Bowl when he was 14 years old.
No kidding.
Bought tickets there. Like they didn't even have tickets. And that was the only Super Bowl he had ever gone to.
Wow.
He's returning to that stadium
No
to
kidding.
play for a Super Bowl. He was like 14 years old. Crazy.
That's
Crazy
wild.
story.
So basically, you're telling me he comes from a family that has enough money
I was gonna say,
to buy tickets
He
that
was
are
a
being
Carolina
scalped
Panthers fan.
outside the stadium. I don't feel bad for him
Carolina
at all.
Panthers fan growing up.
Oh.
His dad was like, you want to go to the Super
Wow.
Bowl? He's like, yeah. They drove cross country, got there 13, 14 years old. He's playing there for the first
Wow.
time since then.
Speaking of
That's
Carolina
pretty cool.
Panthers, another team that Sam Darnold was the backup on.
Yeah.
Was the backup
Yeah.
quarterback on. So,
So Seahawks.
Too
Yeah,
much offense
go
on the
Hawks.
Seahawks team for them to, they're going to light it up.
yeah,
hope so.
JSN,
Oh my
Jackson
gosh,
Smith
bro,
and
he's
Jigba had
ridiculous.
almost 1,800 receiving yards this year. Did you guys know that?
He had more yards receiving this past game than May had throwing. So
No, literally, it's
They're going to
absolutely
light
bonkers.
it up.
I hope so.
They're going to
Kenneth-
light up, and their defense is
Kenneth
really
Walker,
good.
1,000-yard rusher this year.
Yeah.
Yeah, incredible.
So
Seahawks all the way.
I have Pastor Craig's submission.
He said
Seahawks. His admin, Tony Inez. Patriots. My husband, Ed Visnanza. Patriots. Those are all the ones I'm proxy. I'm a proxy.
pray for them. We'll pray
And
for them.
Melissa?
Yeah.
I gotta say Patriots.
Wow.
Oh.
I don't know who I love more, Tony or my husband, but I have to say the Patriots.
Vrabel's great.
Also-
First year head coach. That's a cool story.
Yeah.
Because if they win, I'm the only one that will have been right at this table. So that
Okay,
would be
yeah.
Well, yeah,
that would be really
that's true.
Yeah, you
epic.
can do that.
Epic.
You also could be the only one that was wrong.
I know, but then that would have been predicted. That wouldn't have been super crazy. So, well, thank you guys.
Then you'll just be
Anything
Colin
else?
Coward or Nick Wright. And those guys make a lot of money being wrong about sports all day long.
all the time.
so.
Nobody ever checks their picks. Yeah.
Well, thank you guys for being
you
with
for
us.
having us.
Thank you all for being
Great.
with us for another episode of the Pastor Takeover. We will see you next week.